Fine. Fixed.
Really?
I'm God, Sam. Yeah, really.
Hi guys, last episode we talked about Supernatural's first attempted spin-off, Bloodlines, looking at its strengths, its weaknesses, and the theories as to why it wasn't picked up by the CW the following year. Today, we're going to be looking at Wayward Sisters, Supernatural's second and last attempted spin-off, analyzing it in the same manner before uncovering the real reason why none of Supernatural's spin-offs worked out. Let's start by seeing what this show was all about, shall we?
Okay. Anything gets in here, take it down.
So, at this point in the show, Supernatural's plot involved multiple universes, and because of that, the story is a bit complicated. However, I'll do my best to explain it clearly. On one hand, we have the alternate universe storyline. Kaya, a dreamwalker, has effectively been forced into sending Sam and Dean into an alternate reality. As this happens, she is teleported away, but the portal remains open, allowing dangerous creatures to enter our universe and hunt her down. She is found by Claire and Jody, who rescue her from one of those creatures and learn about the portal, putting all of them on a quest to save our beloved Winchester brothers. On the other hand, we have the prophesized death storyline. You see, Jody Mills is a hunter that has taken it upon herself to house and care for young female hunters that have nowhere else to go. She ends up forming a makeshift family with her two adopted daughters, Alex and Claire, who are both hunters. Though Claire is far more rebellious and has been traveling and hunting on her own for a while when the pilot takes place. When Patience, a psychic hunter, shows up at Jody's doorstep, informing her that she had a vision where Claire died, Jody calls Claire home so that she can keep an eye on her. Needless to say, the Winchester brothers are saved from the alternate universe, and Claire avoids the seemingly certain death that Patience had seen in her visions. However, in the process of rescuing Sam and Dean, Kaya, the Dreamwalker, appears to have been killed by a mysterious hooded figure, which puts Claire on a path of vengeance. The portal closes, and the alternate universe storyline was to be continued in the spin-off, or so we thought. Now that we've covered what happens during the show's pilot, let's see what made this series special and why it might have deserved at least one season on the CW. This is what Wayward Sisters did right.
I called. You didn't answer. We worried.
Where's the other one? There's another one?
The best aspect of Wayward Sisters was the characters themselves. The creative team behind the proposed spin-off made the wise decision of only including characters that the audience had previously interacted with. Jody, Donna, Claire, and even Kaya, they had all previously appeared at least once or twice during the course of the Origin series. They were also characters that the audience loved and wanted to see more of. The backdoor pilot benefited greatly from only including characters that the audience already knew and cared for. One of those benefits was the fact that the episode did not have to waste any time on setting up its characters. There was no need to explore their origins, their personality, or their motivations because we already knew who these characters were and how they interacted with one another. We already knew that Jody was a protective motherly figure and that Alex was the caring and stable daughter, with Claire being the kind-hearted but reckless rebel. None of this had to be re-established during the course of the episode. Which brings us to another benefit of having pre-established characters. Not only was the audience already invested in these characters, making us innately interested in what would happen to them if the spin-off were to get approved, but because the series did not have to explore those characters individually, it could instead focus on the dynamic between them as well as the general narrative of the spin-off. The pilot had enough time to explore the concept of alternate universes and dangerous monsters, as well as develop characters and their dynamics. We have Donna turning Patience into a hunter by handing her a shotgun, we have Jody accepting Claire for who she is, and we have Claire becoming less reckless and more resourceful as a result of this episode. None of this could have been explored as quickly and as efficiently as it was had the pilot been forced to explore who those characters were and why those moments were significant for their development. However, the choice Wayward Sisters makes regarding its characters is not the only positive aspect regarding the pilot. The backdoor pilot also has great timing. In the previous episode, we discussed how Supernatural has a specific formula that it follows quite strictly, how the first and last 3 episodes of each season are plot episodes, and how the space between is filled with a variety of different episodes. While I believe that Bloodlines' chances were reduced because of the odd timing of the episode, the backdoor pilot taking place in the plot area of the season, Wayward Sisters took place at the perfect time in its origin season. Taking place in the middle of season 13 and being at least partially related to the overall plot and theme of the season meant that the episode did not interfere with the flow of the show. The characters and the plot during the backdoor pilot were self-contained enough to progress into their own series, but not too self-contained that they were irrelevant to the ongoing story arc. Now that is perfectly balanced. That being said, let's take a look at why the CW might have chosen to not go ahead with Wayward Sisters. This is what Wayward Sisters did wrong.
Claire, you can't just run away from this. Watch me.
Generally, Wayward Sisters was well received. It had a variety of interesting characters that the audience already knew and loved, with pre-established history and dynamics. It was also an interesting pilot that developed its characters and explored new concepts and ideas without feeling like a blockade in the path of the show's progression. So, what could it have done wrong if such a promising prospect was passed up by its network? Well, quite a bit, actually. Let's start with the setting. In Supernatural, Sam and Dean travel all across the United States hunting monsters and saving people. This means encountering a variety of monsters, a variety of secondary and guest characters, a variety of villains, a variety of cities and towns. You get the point. In Supernatural, from the very beginning of the show, we understand that the entirety of North America might have to be explored by the Winchester brothers, which, as a viewer, is quite exciting. However, the setting of Wayward Sisters seems a lot more ambiguous and quite boring. It appeared that the entirety of the action would have taken place where the Wayward Sisters were located, which is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Thank you, Google. The backdoor pilot gives no strong indication that the action might extend beyond these premises, nor does it expand upon what our characters might encounter, other than the one type of unnamed monster we encountered during the pilot. None of that is exciting or intriguing. Even compared to Supernatural's previous attempt at a spin-off, Bloodlines, Wayward Sisters' ambiguously dangerous Sioux Falls cannot compare to a semi-developed Chicago where 5 supernatural factions are running the entire city. As we can tell, the setting established by Wayward Sisters is severely underdeveloped. But the setting is not the pilot's only weakness. The premise and theme of the show are also not as strong as they otherwise could have been. I will admit that I am not a fan of any alternate universe or multiple universes storyline, and I may be biased in that regard. However, aside from Claire's aspirations for revenge, the spin-off was very open-ended, almost directionless. Yes, the theme of a makeshift family and revenge were present, alongside the premise of exploring alternate universes and finding a mysterious doppelganger killer, but these were nowhere near as pertinent, bold, or nuanced as the themes and premise in Supernatural, or even Bloodlines. Both the audience and the characters deserved a better hook into the spin-off than finding out that the mysterious killer looks just like their victim. The audience already cared for those characters and was invested in what happened to them. The added effort in creating a more captivating story with a more concrete, engaging premise would have surely increased the chances of the show being picked up. Finally, I will mention something because I know it has come up in discussions regarding the spin-off and is a point of contention. The fact that the entire cast of Wayward Sisters is female is not a weakness, nor is it part of the reason why the spin-off was not picked up. It is true that the sheer existence of the pilot is a step forward towards equality, given that Supernatural itself is a male-centric show and its proposed spin-off would have been a female-centric show. Yet, Wayward Sisters' focus was not on centering a show around female characters, but on creating a show about characters that the audience already knew and loved. In that respect, it succeeded. However, the show focused too much on the inclusion and cohesion of those characters into the plot. As a result, it forgot to develop the premise and themes that would support the spin-off and engage the audience's curiosity as to what might happen next. Wayward Sisters relied heavily upon its characters, using them as a crutch for an uninteresting premise and setting, as well as half-explored themes. It did not indicate to the audience where the story might go, nor did it spark their curiosity to find out. As a result, even if the audience cared for the characters and what happened to them, it appeared that there was not much of a story to be explored past the backdoor pilot. That is unfortunate.
We saved Sam and Dean. All of these amazing women. my family.
Now that we have looked at the strengths and weaknesses of Wayward Sisters, can we say why the CW chose not to go ahead with the series? Was it because of the uninteresting premise, the bland setting, or the half-baked themes, ignoring the developed and interesting characters as well as their interesting dynamics? The short answer is no. None of that forms even part of the reason why the CW chose not to go ahead with Wayward Sisters, or with Bloodlines for that matter. While it is interesting that both Bloodlines and Wayward Sisters failed to be picked up by the CW despite having opposite weaknesses and strengths, Mark Pedowitz, the president of CW, ensures us that none of those aforementioned reasons are to blame. He is of the opinion that it may just be Jared and Jensen, the leading actors, that make Supernatural work so well. And who can blame him for thinking that, given that Supernatural is only ending after 15 years of being on air? If anything, I'm inclined to agree, because I am sure that I won't ever witness a Bond on TV that is anything like that of Sam and Dean Winchester. Oh, and Wayward Sisters was passed over in favor of Legacies, a spin-off of the originals, but that's something for another day. Now, I have a question for you. Which spin-off pilot did you prefer, Bloodlines or Wayward Sisters? Also, if Supernatural were to have a successful spin-off series, what would you like it to be about? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, thank you for watching, keep writing. Hey, you made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you'd like to be kept up to date with what's coming next. If you don't, I'll have a word with Crowley about you, and I'm pretty sure neither of us wants that, do we? Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye! Oh, I also have a Discord if you'd like to drop by and chat. The link is in the description below.